103.9 Proud FM. You're listening to Breakfast in Bed with Patrick and Deb. Unfortunately, Patrick's not here, and this was somebody he really wanted to talk to, but he is going to this show. We are met right now by dance programmer at the Harbourfront Centre, Jeanne Holmes. Let's welcome her right now. DV8, the letters D, the letter V, and the number 8, To Be Straight With You. It's on next week from December 2nd to the 5th. To Be Straight With You. Let's talk about this. You've got my ears all perked up.
Well, DV8 is a dance theatre company from the UK, and they're run by a really interesting man named Lloyd Newson. And Lloyd always makes work that is, for him, relevant to the world that he lives in. And as a gay man, he started to recognize that people who were out and gay were mostly like him. He did some investigation and recognized how many people from non-Western traditions, let's say, come to places like Toronto or like London so that they can live out because they can't at home. And it started with, for him, interviews. He watched a documentary on BBC that was about gay Muslims and not one person in the interview, they interviewed 25 people, nobody was willing to show their face. So he became really fascinated with what that means in the world and did all of these interviews with people from all over the world who live in London primarily to talk about the issue. And he's made this dance piece.
If you're just tuning in right now, we're talking with Jeanne Holmes of the Harbourfront Centre. Now we're talking about DV8 and To Be Straight With You. How does one convey this physically through dance? It sounds like he's pretty great at this.
Well, as a choreographer, he makes all of his work from this sort of impulsive movement.
Okay.
But this piece particularly incorporates text and video and animation as well. So you get a sort of full scope of all different kinds of forms. These are real stories about real people who experienced real things with their families, with their neighbors, with people they didn't know who just didn't like them because of how they looked or how they were. And he brings those stories into a sort of collage of movement and voice and projections and music. It touches on a lot of different bases. So if you're not a huge dance fan, it's got a lot of other things in it. But if you are, it has that really great kind of visceral response that dance so often has.
I think it's really important in Canada, too, for that face of dance and that face of gay to come out into the forefront, because we sit back and we're like, oh, wash our hands, it's done, we can get married legally. Well, you know what? The people that come to our country can't. Until everyone can, it's not right now. It opens the day after World AIDS Day, and it's going to be running from December 2nd to 5th. What are some of the times for these shows on December 2nd to 5th so people can schedule this in?
The 2nd to the 5th, there are evening shows that start at 8 o'clock, and it's at the Fleck Dance Theatre at Harbourfront Centre. And there's a matinee on Saturday afternoon that starts at 2. And also on Monday, November 30th at Buddies in Bad Times Theatre, we're doing a town hall with in partnership with Buddies that's talking about the issues that are in the show with local performers, local artists, as well as people from different kinds of organizations that represent immigrants coming to Canada. So,
and what time is that on the Monday?
It starts at 7 o'clock at Buddies.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Well, thanks very much to Jeanne Holmes for coming in and talking to us. Of course, artistic director Lloyd Newson is leading a multi-ethnic cast in a poetic but unflinching exploration of tolerance, intolerance, homophobia, religion, and sexuality, not to be missed. Thank you very much for coming in today.
My pleasure.